Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elise, but you can call me Elle, and welcome to Love She Wrote, where we read stories, write stories, and we live them. So, writing a book is definitely a journey, but sometimes I think we just get caught up and we compare ourselves and our work to other people, and that just takes away the fun of being a writer and creating your own story. So today I want to talk about the 5 mistakes that I think every new author, new writer makes early on in their journey. I should know this because I made all of these when I first started out. So let me tell you the cheat code to not make these mistakes. We convince ourselves that everything has to be perfect, that we have to be perfect before we can move forward. No, ma'am. So, if you are working on your first book or your fifth book, or you just have an idea but you don't know where to start, okay, let's talk about the 5 mistakes that new writers make and how to avoid them. All right, so coming in at number one, the first mistake is you compare yourself to other authors. I've made this mistake a few times. Like, let's say you're reading a story and you're like, oh, this story has the same character, same name, even the same setting. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to write my story anymore because it's too, like relatable. But like, it's not, your story. And so like everybody is different, everybody's story is different, everybody's writing style is going to be different. So that shouldn't make you be like, oh, let me just, scratch my whole story, throw it in the trash. No. You should never let that like scare you, away from writing your story, because again, like, we are all different. Our experiences is different, our life is different, so you should never let that scare you away from still writing your story, even if you see like similar, like, patterns, especially if like it's your first time reading that story. Like, again, like, this has happened to me. I just, even now with the book I'm working on now, I was reading a book that came out years ago. I didn't read, and I'm just like, this character, like, her storyline kind of mimics mine, but I've never read that book. I'm still going to put my book out there. I'm still going to write it. So it's just like, you have to keep that in mind to not compare your work. Otherwise, like, you'll just never, you'll never write, you'll never finish your story. Number two would be overthinking your plot. So your plot does not have to be complicated, confusing, to be a good story. I think a lot of times we try to add like so many different elements and characters and settings when you really don't have to. Now, if you want to, okay, you know, this is your story. But for new writers starting out, you don't have to do all that. You just need a character, a conflict, and then an outcome. That's the basic formula to at least starting a good story. Now, if you plan on making like multiple books, that's even better, because you don't have to put everything in book one. You can explain some stuff in book two, three, and so forth. So just don't overcomplicate your plot. That messes up a lot of writers. Number three is trying to make the first draft perfect. I'm going to be honest, your first draft is not going to be what is published. Okay. And like, I wish somebody would have told me that, or I would have watched, videos on publishing and writing, because at first I did get discouraged, because I'm just like, dang, I'm going through so many edits, and even the edits that I'm reading, like, or not edits, like the edited part of my book right now that, it's still not released. I'm going back and I'm reading stuff that, like, I want to take this out, or I want to put this in. And this is like the third time that it's, that I'm going through rewrite. So you are going to go through rewrites. You are going to have, it's not going to be, you're not going to write it and then this is what is, given to readers. Doesn't work like that. And so just, keep that in mind. Don't let that discourage you, because my publisher said that it can take up to 7 rewrites for historical fiction. So yeah, don't let the multiple rewrites discourage you, because it's just gonna happen. Sorry, my camera went out of focus. Are you focused? Am I focused? Okay. Um, number 4 is waiting for people to care about you before you release your work. So you don't need 10,000 followers to release a novel. Like I thought. Like I seriously, I'm like, I have like 30 followers on TikTok. So what? It don't matter. Put your work out there. Put your content out there. Show yourself, working on your book. Show yourself giving author tips. Like, you don't have to have a huge following to release your novel or start your author journey. Write the book while you are building your audience, while you are finding your readers. And it just kind of goes back into just overthinking, the plot. Don't overthink your process as an author. Otherwise, you'll miss out on the journey itself and you'll get discouraged and then you'll just stop. So, you definitely want to avoid thinking you have to have X amount of followers, X amount of supporters before people, you know, read your work. Like your readers, they're going to find you, they're going to find your work. Number 5, which is my biggest problem, a lot of people's, I'm sure, is um like starting new writing projects while you're still working on your current one or haven't even finished, your current one. Writers have new story ideas. I'm going to say every day. You could say maybe like every week, every month, but I know for me it's like dang near every day. And it's that's good to have these different thoughts and ideas that can keep your author career going, because you'll never run out of stories, right? So it's just like, but keep those in a notebook, keep those in a Google Doc. If you don't like to write pen to paper, I prefer writing my thoughts out sometimes. But just write all that down. You don't have to start a complete new story while you're still writing your current one. Otherwise, you'll never finish it. That up until a few months ago, that was my problem because I was working on short stories. I was trying to build my coloring book catalog, and I'm just like, girl, we ain't published our book yet. And so, but I just think I've listened in classes, and other people have told me that like we live in such a like fast paced, I have to have this now world. And so it's like you feel like if you don't have something physical, that like people won't take you seriously, or people won't see your efforts. But like, forget what people think. It's not their journey, it's yours. And that's one thing to truly always remember, not even in just a writing or off the journey, but just anything that anyone is doing. This is your story, your life, and don't let anybody rush you, because great things take time. I don't care what nobody says. Like, you cannot rush anything without it messing up, having a negative outcome. So just take your time and just don't overthink it. But thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful or encouraging, give it give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more tips and author interviews, and just not just author interviews, like creative interviews. Um if you have any ideas on what my next, author tips should be, comment below or send me a message in my inbox. And yeah, thank y'all for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next week.